Hello champions and happy Friday. I'm excited that we're going to be back on PlayPosit starting today. You're going to do an awesome job with this video. On Tuesday, we learned how to represent fractions as division problems and division problems as fractions. Today we're going to talk about what happens when you have improper fractions. You're going to do a great job, I know it, and so does Mr. Smiles. He's back, he's giving you a thumbs up. Let's jump right in. Let's start with a do now question. Which of the following is equal to 3/4? Remember, I can represent a fraction as a division problem and a division problem as a fraction. 3 divided by 4 would give me 3/4. The girls' basketball team has 15 players. Mr. Gibson bought 3 pizzas for the girls' basketball team to split. How many pizzas did each member of the team receive? First, I need to decide what is being split up in this problem. Are we splitting the 15 players or are we splitting the 3 pizzas? We're splitting the 3 pizzas. Because I'm splitting the 3 pizzas, what's my division problem? The division problem is 3 pizzas divided between 15 people. I know that that creates the fraction 3 over 15. My answer isn't one of the choices. What should I do? I should simplify. What's a number that goes into 3 and 15? I can divide both by 3. What's 3 divided by 3? It's 1. What's 15 divided by 3? It's 5. The answer is 1/5. Now it's time for some quick fluency. What's 11 divided by 2? 11 divided by 2 is 5 remainder 1. What's 47 divided by 5? 47 divided by 5 is 9 remainder 2. What's 14 divided by 3? 14 divided by 3 is 4 remainder 2. What's 13 divided by 4? 13 divided by 4 is 3 remainder 1. Make sure that if you didn't get those right on first try, you've got all of the work copied down now. Let's move on to today's lesson. Today we're going to talk about how to represent a division problem as a fraction when the numerator is larger than the denominator. Remember, it's not always going to be the smaller number first or the bigger number first. We have to decide based on the context of the problem. So let's start with an example. 4 people are weeding 9 flower beds. If the work is divided evenly, how many flower beds will each person weed? What's being split up here? Are the 4 people splitting the 9 flower beds to do the work, or are the 9 flower beds splitting the 4 people? The flower beds are being split up between the 4 people. So, what division sentence represents this problem? I'm splitting 9 into 4 groups, so the division sentence is 9 divided by 4. I know from our lesson Tuesday, I can write 9 divided by 4 as a fraction. It's going to be 9/4. That's an improper fraction. I need to change it to a mixed number. How do I change an improper fraction to a mixed number? I use division. I'm going to divide 9 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 9? 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. What's my remainder? My remainder is 1. So I know that each person is going to weed 2 full flower beds with 1 left to be split among 4 people, 2 and 1/4. Each person will weed 2 and 1/4 flower beds. This means that they will weed between 2 and 3 flower beds. Let's do another example. The Smith family likes to paddle along the Susquehanna River. They paddled the same distance each day over the course of 3 days. traveling a total of 14 miles. Which best describes the number of miles they traveled each day? What are we going to split up here? Are we splitting the 3 days, or are we splitting the 14 miles? We're splitting the 14 miles to find how much they traveled each day. What does that mean our division sentence should be? Our division sentence should be 14 divided by 3. 14 miles split across 3 days. How would I write that as a fraction? 14 divided by 3 is the same as 14 over 3. Now I need to change 14 thirds into a mixed number. I'm going to divide 14 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 14? 3 goes into 14 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. I have a remainder of 2. That means that each day they rode 4 full miles and 2/3 of a mile left over. 4 2/3 miles. The question asks us which two numbers that falls between. Well, it's a little bit more than 4, but a little bit less than 5. That means it falls between 4 and 5 miles. Let's do another example. Remember, it's not always going to be the bigger number getting split up. It's not always going to be the smaller number. I have to decide based on the context. Mrs. Baker's class is working on a science project. There are 10 project groups. Mrs. Baker has 7 packs of construction paper for all the groups to share. How many packs of construction paper will each group get to use? What's being split up in this problem? 7 packs of paper are being split between 10 groups. What's a matching division sentence? Well, 7 divided by 10. Which answer is correct for this problem? What's the result of 7 divided by 10? I know 7 divided by 10 is 7/10. Let's do one last problem. Jacob walked his dog 11 miles in 4 days. He walked the same amount each day. How many miles did Jacob walk his dog each day? What's being split up in this problem? The 11 miles are being split up. So what division sentence can I use to solve this problem? Well, I need to split 11 miles across 4 days. 11 divided by 4. That gives me 11/4. Now I need to divide an answer. When I divide 11 divided by 4, how many miles will Jacob have walked each day? Well, 11 divided by 4. 4 goes into 11 twice. 2 times 4 is 8, and when I subtract, I have a remainder of 3. The answer is 2 3/4 miles, or B. You did a great job on this video. If you're finished, you can now move to ST Math. Make sure you record your score on your paper.